Go Greddy here. Welcome to my first ever weekly races in under 7 minutes. This video was inspired by my friend Carper 300 and his recent passing. Have not made a video since his passing. Carper, a true gentleman, a true joy to race with on the track. Him leaving us at the time in his life that he did made me reevaluate my life and making sure that I was getting the enjoyment that I should out of this limited time we have here on Earth. So this is a result of that. This is the first video since his passing. I hope you enjoyed. If you do, hit the like and subscribe. Come back, check out some more. Hopefully get something out of it. If you don't, maybe get a little entertainment value out of it. There will be more. So let's get on to the video. All right, first race, Japanese Club and Cup 550. What does 550 mean? It means you got to suggest a PP of 550. You got to be, well, you don't have to be anywhere near there. You can actually clobber this race if you want to. But if you want to have some fun, go with 550 PP. Send it out here on Fuji, 3 laps. What did Greddy go with? Well, I opened up the old garage and I found this Honda Civic Type R with Sport Soft tires. It was good enough. It was right around 550. Put it out on the track. Oh, and she was an absolute jewel to race with. Now, if you catch rain in this race, don't worry. Sport Soft tires got tread on them, so you're fine. You don't need intermediates or wets or anything like that. I was able to take the victory by a whopping 3 seconds. So if you're struggling with the race, you can go with a little bit of a softer compound tire, but if you're looking for a little bit of challenge, this is not a bad card. Maybe give it a shot. Race number 2 of the weekly races is the World Raleigh Challenge. It's a PP 700 race. You're going to need dirt tires. You're going to need a 700 PP car or less. The Group B cars are really good here, but knowing me like I know me, we had to go with something a little bit different. So I found this beauty, the WRX STI Isle of Man 2016 version. Well, why not? I don't get to use it for anything else. May as well sling it around Sardinia windmills. One thing I found, it definitely has enough horsepower to win the race. It is plenty fast, even for being a souped-up street car. Now, I have it 50-50 front to rear split. As the race went on, I found that to be a little too heavy on the front, making this corner right here. It was hard to get the rear end to drift out. Darn Subaru always in your way. Anyway, so I moved the bias a little towards the rear so I could get that back end hanging out a little bit. Want to be way over here to the right, get on the brakes there before the little hill so you can cut back here on this left-hander and get on the throttle plenty early. Then be careful on these double humps up here. Make sure your car is pointed straight. Coming through the S's near the end of the lap, try to turn in a little bit early. Get the rear end to sling around. You can almost keep it full throttle coming up through here. Maybe you can with a little bit of practice. I didn't have any practice. We went in pretty much raw. Other things, these last 2 jumps before the finish line, obviously you want to square them up so the car doesn't get too sideways on you before you start your next lap. Almost got a little too sideways there, but take home the win in the Isle of Man WRX. Really enjoyed that. Give this car a shot if you haven't thought about it. On to race number 3. The third of the weekly races is a special event for the Lamborghini Urus. It's a one make, no PP limit, so go crazy if you want to. I don't like to spend money. That's why I still got $60 million in the bank. But I did need a little more grip because I'm not tuning up the engine at all, so I grabbed some racing hards, put those on there. That put the performance points at 597. I suspect this is a PP 600 race by the way I finished. With the sports softs, that would be a pretty tough challenge. I was getting enough exit speed because of the extra grip from the racing hard tires. So I having to kind of set up the AI to where I was backing off on the corners and then really accelerating coming out. Because without any kind of engine mods, I'm not going to overtake them on straights with extra speed. So I was having to pass them in the corners if they gave me enough room. So took home a first place on the racing hard, but otherwise stock Urus. Race number 4, we're going to crank up the difficulty. We're going with the Vision Gran Turismo race, an 850 performance points or less race. Got to be a VGT car, so I jump in my garage of VGTs and I decide on the Porsche VGT Spider because, well, I want the breeze rustling through old Greddy's hair as I rip it through the mountains here in Switzerland. Grab the racing soft tires to bring my PP level up there to 818. Not quite to 850, but we're going to send it and see how it turns out. Oh, baby, baby, baby. Check out that helmet. Wow, that is a custom Porsche helmet. Now, the Porsche VGT Spider has plenty of top end to win this race. So if you're looking for something that's really quick on the straight, grab this car. It's a little funky in the corners. It tends to like to push, as you can see right here. Greddy died on his first try through the right-hander at the end of the long straight. Not to fear, that's what the retry button is for. So send it again, and this time I'm a little more cautious. I was expecting this VGT car just to be able to absolutely hold on to the corners, because a lot of them are pretty darn grippy. But got to be a little careful here through this section. The car will get a little light on you, as well as a couple other spots, such as the right-hander at the end of this straight. If you're full hauling coming down that straight, you better be on the brakes before you exit that tunnel. You're not going to make this right-hander. Overall, just keep the car underneath you, let it do work on the straights, and eventually you'll catch up to this guy, Mr. Blazan, in the Porsche VGT, not the Spider. He didn't want to show off his fancy Porsche helmet like I did. And I got to tell you what, in the Spider, the cockpit view, outstanding. Unlike that WRX STI that was in earlier, the cockpit view had a big banner across. You couldn't even see out of the windshield. But this view, spectacular. So I suggest the Spider. Enjoy winning this race like I did. The last of the weekly races, World Touring Car 700 at Dragon Trail Gardens in reverse. Track we don't run too often, but I've run it enough to at least be familiar with it. So I wanted a car with some cornering ability, was stable on the curbs. So I decided on the Silvia Spec R Aero. Why not? Plus, it's got the really nice Miller High Life livery, and you can't go wrong there. Threw some racing soft tires on it. That brought the PP up to 651, a whopping 49 below the 700. But can Greddy get it done here at Gardens? Now, admittedly, I have no idea what you could add power-wise to a Group 4 type car, but what I can tell you was the Silvia, plenty of cornering, plenty stable, was an absolute joy to drive. I was able to pass the competition down the inside. I was able to pass the competition around the outside. Able to eat up these curbs without getting too unstable. So it's a fun car to drive. One thing you got to keep your eye on is your fuel. I went on into the pits on lap 5. Also needed intermediates because the rain was coming, but the rain didn't last super long. And oh my goodness, we had mayhem on the track because the AI, as usual, went in too late for the intermediates. So they were sliding all over the track, ran into me right there, went off the road. I was a little scared I was going to get a penalty for passing under yellow, but got lucky there. So ended up winning the race by 10 seconds. So it was a pretty good car. You can give it a try. You can try something else. Let me know what cars y'all used in these races. I'm curious to find out. Maybe I'll use one of your choices in a future video. Hope you enjoyed this weekly races in under 7 minutes. If you did, hit the like and or subscribe to come back and check out some more. For myself, Go Greddy, y'all have a great evening.